Alright, hello, we are live. I apologize for the delay. We were just working with some issues over at SpeedGaming, but now we are almost ready to start. We've got both of our runners here. Do you know if there are any special runners agreements for this match?
Oh, hang on a sec. I'm fumbling here to reconnect here.
Oh, it appears our other commentator is having some technical difficulties for the time being. We'll have those
Yeah.
resolved.
Well, it's just because I'm kind of bouncing between browser Discord and Discord app, so
You
it's a
should
little
probably
weird.
just stick to one.
Well, because in browser Discord you can't do push to talk while in other tabs. Only in app Discord.
I honestly don't know why anyone uses browser Discord. It's like,
I just
it's worth a
prefer.
download.
Nah, I prefer having browser Discord just because like I can just open one internet browser and not have to switch between like my internet browser and an app.
Regardless, though, we're getting ready to start here. We'll be getting on soon. And, okay, our runner's agreements are as follows. They have just chosen to disable the work to start setting, so if they go somewhere like lower mines on a whim, that's much more of a gamble now. They can't just kind of poof back out. They really have to commit. And also, they're replacing all of the nothing items with flamethrowers. The classic meme.
Good choice. They have starter charge beam, right? That's one of the.
That's default tournament settings,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Bear
They start
with.
with charge beam and of course the scan visor.
Yeah.
So that just makes things a bit more convenient. The charge beam especially because combat without charge beam gets really, really laborious after a while, especially as you progress later into the game. And worse if you don't find any beams. Like if you cannot find your plasma or ice beam, you just absolutely need to have that charge beam.
But yeah, just bear with me on some of this stuff because I don't really play Prime 1 Randomizer.
Don't worry, I'll cover you. I have a decent knowledge of this game.
Yeah, I've watched some of this, so I know a bit about it, but it's definitely not my preferred game. That's Prime 2. Also, did we introduce
It's a
ourselves?
fantastic game, though, nonetheless, and our runners are starting.
Yep.
So the first trick we're going to see here is called Space Jump First. This is actually used in a lot of the actual speed runs for Prime, but in this case, we won't most likely be getting Space Jump first. Our runners are going to be checking Alcove, and the item that they're hoping to see is probably going to be a missile. We do not want to see an artifact here. That's the one thing we don't want to get, because artifacts, we need them, but they don't progress anything. And an energy tank is kind of along that same line. It's very unfortunate that that's our item in SJF.
It's helpful, but...
And is that a visor in landing site?
Yes, it is.
That's the X-ray visor.
So, one of the newer things to Prime 1 and Randomania specifically is, at least in these settings, is isn't it that the Alcove dash is like in logic now? Like you're expected to do that?
Well, Randomania has always supported trick logic,
well,
or at least as far as I can remember. But now it's in tournament settings.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Compared to past tournaments.
There are actually a lot of tricks in logic now, which is one of the big differences in this tournament. There's a much higher sort of skill floor, I guess you could say. Now, they're only enabled at beginner level, but that still is a lot of time runners have to take practicing these tricks so that they don't have to worry about fumbling them in a run.
Yeah, it's always the easier tricks that you end up messing up more.
Well, yeah, it's just because there's a lot of tricks that runners will employ, even if they're not necessarily doing it. Like you just saw a scan dash there that obviously isn't necessary at all, but it just helps you move a lot faster, especially before you've gotten Morph Ball.
Did you see what was up on the grapple ledge? Because
I did not. There was an E-tank on Half Pipe. I didn't quite see what was on Vault. Maybe we'll see it on tocapa. I didn't quite get a good look up there either.
And that just looked like a
missile expansion and ruined nursery. Okay.
I feel like I never see any like progression items in that spot. I don't know why. Like in any of the races
I've seen a Phazon suit there at some point.
Yeah.
And now we're going to see our Hive Totem. This has got to be what's got our progression. There's nowhere else it can be. And let's see what item this is. Frostbite gets the Scan Dash first try. Not going to be fighting the DLC boss, it's Missile Expansion. And another one behind the door for good measure.
So that opens up. Yeah.
Now they can check a lot of stuff. They can check in Ruined Gallery behind the missile barrier. They can check Plated Beetle, although if it's not Morphball, they probably won't be getting it. Or Space Jump. And that's our various suit. That's certainly a bit of an odd thing to find. That is going to help for later, but that doesn't really do a lot for our runners now.
Well, it's some added defense.
Oh, of course, yes. In Prime 1, of course, suits do actually give you damage resistance to just about every type of damage you can take, unlike Prime 2, where they only protect you from environmental damage, specifically the Dark World. In this game, they give you just a flat bonus.
Well, they also do, at least the various suit in this case, does also protect you from environments in the heat, but yeah.
Oh, of course, of course. And Frostbite choosing to head straight back to Talon.
Oh, wait,
I'd say that's a
forgot.
play.
We are not just commentators, we're also trackers.
Yes, I did forget that as well.
So yeah, the signups for tracking and commentating for this race were a bit messy, just because it changed time slots a bit. So we're both
And
commentating.
especially when you have these weekday races, it can be a bit tough finding staffing. And that looked like a missile expansion in Ruined Shrine. I didn't get a great look at it, so they're probably not going to grab it.
Yeah.
That's not what they wanted to see. They wanted to see a Morph Ball or a Space Jump. That was really what tocapa wanted to get out of that. And now Frostbite is going to be checking, I believe this is Transport Tunnel B, over here. Of course, it is going to be a ways off. It's quite a walk. That's kind of why you saw tocapa choose not to go immediately there, because it's such a long check, especially if you've already gone to Chozo. If they had gotten missiles in SJF, that would have been a much more tenable thing to go for. That's going to be their space jump boots.
Movement without space jump just feels so bad, honestly.
It takes some getting used to, and Frostbite is most likely next going to be checking Artifact Temple, but first they are planning to climb up here.
Oh, and yep, going up to the upper item. Probably not checking Arbor Chamber, though. Not without bombs.
No, I don't think that's going to be possible. And it looks like tocapa is choosing not to go for Transport Tunnel and instead heading straight to Artifact Temple. Unfortunately, that means they're going to be not getting their space boots quite yet. And what do we have here? That's a power bomb.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering if something's going to be in what's that lava room in
a magma pool?
That one. If we find a grapple or something, maybe it could be there.
Well, that was a power bomb expansion. So one quirk of Randomania is that it only really counts something as being in logic with these yellow items if you find the main one. That was main power bombs, so they're not going to be expected to use that quite yet.
Yeah, because I was thinking, that's something I remember from watching previous races in the older Randomizer.
Artifact Temple has a missile. Also, I believe you falsely marked Space Jump and power bombs on tocapa. I don't believe they picked those up.
No, my mistake. This is the trouble with having to bounce between commentary and tracking. Even when there's another person, he's kind of juggling a bunch of different things. So
and Research Lab Aether, I think I saw.
I did not catch any of those because I was on the tracking page.
So at least they're going to have to do Pirate Lab. So it's going to be, something. We're going to get the hints again off of Frostbite, though. Okay. Try not to miss them.
Assuming Frostbite actually reads them now.
Yes, that is something that our runners have to make a decision on, is whether to read these hints. Strength is in a Great Tree Chamber, I think it was, or something. Security Access A, so that's mines. Research Lab Hydra, not Aether. Security Cave. Crossway. And shorelines. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. There's nothing in lower mines, no artifacts at least. And I didn't see anything in Magmore. But yeah, security access A, security cave, those are really not bad places in mines for it to be. That's at least if you're coming in the top, which may not necessarily happen.
Yeah, I don't know the room names of this game at all. I'm too used to Prime 2 room names, and like nothing in this one makes sense to me.
That's fair. It takes some getting used to. Tocapa now is going to be getting their space jump, and there it is.
Huh? Is
Now,
Tocapa's health number invisible?
yeah, I believe it is. That's
That is
odd.
weird.
I don't know if that's a bug or a feature. I really
Uh,
not that well versed in the minutia of Prime.
Tocapa is not going to be getting that power bomb.
Uh, Again, though,
Oh yeah, they
just
don't even have
having one
morph.
power bomb expansion is
Yeah,
almost in some ways more of a liability than an asset. Because
yeah.
that means that if you want to do these power bomb checks so you don't have to come back later, which our runners will want, then you have to worry about your power bomb drops, which can be very difficult to manage, especially with such a low capacity. And the morph ball
Oh,
is
yep.
going to be on vault ledge. Frostbite is attempting a. This is a pretty straightforward L jump, but it can feel a little tricky at first, and that's going to be Frostbite getting the morph ball. And an energy tank for good measure. Now, Frostbite did not check Ruin Shrine, so they're heading there right now. This does mean that they'll be able to get. I believe the lower morph tunnel isn't actually blocked by a bomb block, so I think they'll be able to get that straight away, and the upper one as well. So that's two checks that Tocapa couldn't do here.
Well, you can get the lower one
Oh,
anyway.
wait, the lower one does have a bomb block,
Oh,
and
is
our
that?
item
Oh,
here
that's
is, I
flamethrower.
believe, a flamethrower.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta pick it up.
Sorry, I forget, but he does have the power bomb, so that means he'll be able to roll right in.
Oh, wait. Oh, I was hoping that would kill all of them and spawn the actual boss.
That would have been rather humorous. Tocapa, we see, has decided to head the upper pathway, going to be heading into Ruined Fountain, gunning straight for Magma Pool. Oh, I know, I have my rooms backwards, sorry. They're actually not heading to Magma Pool at all, I'm a silly.
Let's switch over the audio so we don't have to listen to Beetle Rave.
Alright, Tocapa is going to be heading into Watery Hall. We're going to see what's over here.
Oh, I didn't realize Charge Beam could break that.
I didn't either. I thought that was missiles only. I don't know if that's in logic. I might need to check after the race.
Well, is there a missile door on the way here? Because if Charge Beam, if starter charge is default, then I don't know.
Alright, going to be heading up. Missile expansion on the charge beam. And remember, he doesn't have anything to break those bomb blocks, so he won't be able to check Central Dynamo at all. In the toxic water, it's going to be a missile expansion. Frostbite, did you see if he got a power bomb drop in between then
I
and now?
believe I'm pretty sure he did.
Alright, that means he will be able to check at least the lower dynamo item. Tocapa, meanwhile, taking a save. I'm guessing Tocapa is about to check Zoid. That's usually why you see these saves go down.
Oh yeah, especially without bombs, yeah.
Yes, because if Zoid does not have bombs, that will be a soft block. Just an energy tank in lower dynamo. Nothing too fascinating there. No, they don't. They didn't get a power bomb drop. They're currently still at 0.
No, they already.
Oh,
used
I know, because they spent one going
Yeah,
underwater.
they're going back.
I'm a silly.
According to someone in chat, charge only explodes that wall if you have missiles.
That's a little bizarre.
Okay. So I guess it really is a missile wall in the end.
Papa heading back to elevator.
Now we're back to Beetle Rave.
This is a very, very intense empty room. Behind the grate is a missile expansion. Nothing to get worked up over.
Hasn't been a lot here.
And going to be leaving Gathering Place, or whatever it's called. Gathering Hall, I think.
Ruined whatever.
No, it's not one of the ruined rooms.
Yeah.
There's
like
Ruined Shrine, there's Ruined Nursery, Ruined Gallery. There's the one in Fendrana, I think that's called Ruined Courtyard, yes. Alright.
Oh.
And Ruined Fountain, that's all of them, I think.
Yeah, it just feels like half the major rooms in Chozo are ruined something.
It's a bit of a theme. And there was a missile on Grapple Ledge. I gotta keep with that. I didn't see it at any other point. Top is going to be trying to do the time here. They grab their power expansion if they succeed, but they fell down. Probably going to be heading into Magmor through that elevator. Since remember, they did pick up the various suit. Oh wait, when did Tocapa grab the X-ray visor in landing site?
Yeah, just grab that.
I suppose it's nice to get while you're there. Just in case. Now, since they are heading into Magmor, it's not going to be too useful. But if they were heading into Chozo with X-ray visor, that means they'd be able to check, for example, the Great Tree early, which is that's one of the utilities that X-ray has, is that it allows you to peek through these otherwise completely opaque walls and get a bit of a preview of what's there. Even if you can't grab it, it just lets you know whether or not you have to come back. Frostbite also grabbing their X-ray.
Oh, that's grapple. Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be a grapple in a Fiery Shore. Now, I believe that puts Magma Pool, well, not into logic until we find the main power bombs, but at least Frostbite will be able to go do it if he ends up heading to Magmor. Frostbite, however, is choosing to get... Oh, that's our bombs! Oh, yep. No! Tocapa just missed bombs by not going to Crash Site. Oh, goodness.
Oh, he was right over there, too. Oh, yeah, under the Ice Spreader Bridge was just missiles. Oh, there's main power bombs. So something's gotta be a Magma Pool.
And Frostbite is going to be heading to Magmor. No surprise, he's there. I'd say that's probably the best move to be made. Heading into Triclops Pit.
See what's here.
Misses.
Swing and a miss.
That's just a missile, and we'll see what's in Storage Cavern in a second here. Triclops giving them a little trouble.
Doesn't even have bombs. Can't fight him. What do you even do against them now? Actually, do power bombs kill them?
I don't know.
Oh.
And just a missile in Storage Cavern, not what Tocapa wants. And remember, they do have those power bombs, so they can head into Lava Lake.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how many.
Two.
Okay, only 2. That's fine.
Actually, I think I don't remember if the radius is enough to reach both. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I remember doing the logic for that, but it was quite a
Well,
while ago.
or rather, is 4 enough? I'd hope so.
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
Because there are 2 different bomb blocks you have to destroy in order to get across from one side of Lava Lake to the other. But I don't remember how well they're spaced apart. Frostbite taking a lot of damage here. And that's going to be half of their health, just decimated. Going to be a bit risky here.
Flamethrower! This
Tocapa
person
grabs
won't pick up.
Flamethrower on Lava Lake.
A fitting location. Yeah, flamethrowers are the nothing item in this in these settings that these runners agreed to. So we're gonna be seeing a lot of them probably.
Tocapa had taken the elevator back into Chozo. Remember, again, our runners did have the agreement to disable warp to start, so they're going to have to think a lot more carefully about their routing. Because that warp to start can make runs more interesting and definitely much safer, but it also acts as sort of a get out of jail free card. If you go somewhere out of the way and you end up needing to walk all the way back. So now our runners really have to think about where do they want to go after they do the checks.
Well, warp to start wasn't even in the old Prime 1 randomizer. That was a
No, that's new
new
from
thing to
Randomizer.
Yep.
Bash Rando did not have that.
Yeah, because warp to start has been pretty much standard in the Prime 2 Randovania. So it's interesting to see how it has affected these tournament matches for the ones that have it on.
Yes, it's certainly very interesting.
And here we have, oh, that's a suit of some kind.
Unfortunately, Tocapa does not have bombs. I believe it's possible to do that with just power bombs. I tried to do it when I was writing the DB, but I thought it was impossible. Somebody else managed it apparently, but it must be quite difficult.
You can do that with only power bombs?
So I've heard. I've never seen it done though, and I wasn't able to do it myself, certainly. But that's going to be a pretty big advantage for Frostbite because Frostbite does have the bombs.
Normal bombs were in a frigate crash site.
Yeah, quite the spot for them to be in. Frostbite choosing to head not back to Chozo. I believe we might be seeing a Fendrana play here because again, they have the bomb, so that's going to allow them to get to Fendrana. Because of course those power bombs, they break blocks, but they don't let you jump as a morph ball. So they're obviously the jump that you have to do to get across this tunnel is going to be keeping Tocapa out. First, going to be checking Warrior Shrine.
And we're also going to see the lower item here too, because Tocapa did not have bombs to check this, and that's okay. They got power bombs. It looks like there was just a missile in the Great Tree in Chozo Main Plaza, and just
That's
missiles
usually
down
what
below.
it is.
Yep. So nothing of note in either of these places. Yeah, now we're gonna see the magma pool play. So I'm expecting this to be something because I mean you don't get main power bombs, Varia, and grapple all early.
Vote now on your phones. What will be in Magma Pool?
Show me thermal visor. That's wave beam.
Oh, that's going to be pretty big. That's going to be massive.
Also means can check these 2 items immediately. It's convenient.
Yes, we're going to get a little peek at Training Chamber now. Our runners are going to be careful not to step too far into the room so that they don't trigger a fight. But the wave being that was the real treasure of this trip. Meanwhile, Frostbite is going to be without for quite a while. Wave beam being here does mean it can't be vanilla, so Mama Shiga, whatever they have is, unless Frostbite pulls off one of the tricks to get out, it's going to be something that they'll have to skip. I doubt they're going to do it though, because those tend to be quite risky. I know there's one where you leave a power bomb behind the door, and then by touching the door, by reloading the room, you reload the power bomb and can open the door from the other side with it. That's a clever one I've seen, but there's some chance for failure, and I don't think any of our runners are willing to risk that in a tournament.
But wondering when will Frostbite get his wave beam, and when will Tocapa get bombs? Because
also, we did see that the ice item in Shorelines was a missile, so that means our artifact must be in Lighthouse.
that requires
So that means super missiles is required.
and Spider. Or do you not need Spider for that?
Well, technically it can be done without Spider, but it's horrible, and you should never do it. You should never even try. It's just so bad.
Sounds about right. Is it
It's like absurdly precise. It's basically impossible.
Well, I assume you could get it with like infinite speed or something, if that.
Well, that's another method.
If you gentlemen that to be allowed.
Actually, I believe IS is allowed by default in this tournament. I forget. I remember it was quite permissive. I'd need to check the tournament rule set to be sure, though. I might be thinking of Out of Bounds, because I know that used to be illegal in tourneys. And I know that because every single time before they added cutscene skip, they would watch the Ridley cutscene in Padron, and they would make a joke about how Ridley was disqualified for being out of bounds. It was the funniest running gag ever.
He should be disqualified for having a shadow bigger than his entire body. That shadow is huge.
Tocapa does have the wave beam, but remember they have no clue where the bombs are. And that, I think, is really going to sort of mess with them quite a lot. Frostbite did quickly check Canyon.
Also in chat, warp to start is disabled for this race, just for reference. That was one of the gentleman rules they had.
Now, 4 Bower Bombs is technically enough to do Flagra. So there is a theoretical chance that Tocapa might think that they have to do that in Logic.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, they just got a wave beam. They can actually check tower place.
Yeah. The top tower item, actually, due to the way Randomania works, will never be progression. But the bottom one, of course, it can be. Because the top tower requires so many missiles, and Randomania only really counts the missiles that you get from the main missile launcher. It doesn't take expansions into account. Frostbite going to be checking Mama's Chigath and going to be sorely disappointed.
Well, it could actually end up being a completely different progression item that they just can't get right now unless they want.
Oh, that would even be worse.
Yeah. Looks like Tocapa doing an underwater slow jump to get this item, which is wow.
There's our Phazon suit.
Okay, so it looks like that's gravity over in a vault. That's a play. Also, remind me, how does suit defense stacking work in this? Is it is like progressive defense where if you have one?
I believe they're playing with progressive. There's different options in Randomania where you can configure how that works. Yeah. But I don't remember what the tournament standard is. I don't really want to waste some time and pull that up. If you take your eyes off of this race for a second, they'll be halfway across the map with 20 items that you didn't see. So
yeah,
I need to pay close attention.
And it looks like Tocapa is heading back to Talon. Hopefully they're gonna get their bombs.
They did not grab their gravity suit, but they now know that well, they actually don't know that's in Logic because no bombs.
Yeah. But yeah, once they get bombs, we'll see where they go, because they might head over to
simultaneous elevator.
They might head over to Fendrana and not even go through Chozo for that, or they might, because if that's the case, then they probably won't be getting the gravity for a bit. But how many things does gravity like really lock?
Well, it locks Frigate, of course, and you need it for the lower gravity chamber item if you don't want to do an absolutely atrocious slope jump.
Well, that's all. So yeah, it's either one item in Phendrana or Frigate, which everybody likes.
Frigate is, of course, the best location because it has fantastic music.
Yep. Oh, tocapa hasn't never got this power bomb expansion up here.
They do have X-ray now, which means they don't have to do invisible objects. Invisible objects is one of the tricks that isn't going to be in tournament logic. So logically, visors are required for doing invisible platforms and power conduits.
Honestly, I feel like even logically, I feel like you shouldn't need X-ray for that particular room, just because you can see the raindrops.
There are a few cases where you can see invisible platforms actually with thermal visor instead of X-ray because you can
they have the
instead of or oversight.
Yep,
you can see the flames. That is actually in logic if you have a thermal visor.
Yeah, that's it. That's the lower mines ones, isn't it?
Yes. And I think it was one of the Metroid quarantines or something like that.
Yeah, but now tocapa is about to get bombs, and Frostbite probably get gravity and on this pass. We'll see if he gets the it's that Phazon suit too while I was here. Not actually going through the vault way. Did Frostbite check the vault item before?
No, I don't believe they did. Though this does give them a chance to check the other item in Ruined Gallery, which I believe tocapa did not check.
Correct.
This is going to be a missile expansion, though. No advantages being gained here. You will notice that Frostbite, however, has 55 missiles to tocapa's 30, which is going to be interesting. Missiles are actually important, especially for the final boss, because if you get these beam combos, flamethrower not being a particularly useful one, then those missiles can make things a lot faster on the fight against Exo.
Yeah, well, they will be guaranteed to have supers because there's an artifact locked behind it in Shorelines.
Of course.
But yeah, like, well, really, the only like luxury item that they could find for that is like Ice Spreader, because I don't know if they really want to use Wave Buster.
Wave Buster just chews up too many missiles. It's not really worth it. Tocapa will be going here to grab their gravity suit, most likely. This is going to cost them a bit of time having to backtrack to go here, but they're probably heading in this direction anyways.
Yeah, I imagine with this in tow, they're probably going to go through Magmore to Phendrana. And here's Frostbite about to get the Wave Beam at Magmore. Oh wait, that's not a suit, that's Spider Ball. Never mind. Okay.
I wasn't actually looking at that. I was just trusting your word, and clearly I should not have done so.
Yeah, it looked like a suit from Through the Grates, but I guess not. Oh man, I lied to all the good people watching at home. How can I live with myself anymore? I've been disgraced as a commentator for this game that I don't even play. On the plus side, since tocapa has Spider Ball now, that means that actually gets the proper model for Morph Ball with the Phazon suit, because without it, it just looks like Power Suit Morph Ball.
That's one of the quirks of this game, is that the Morph Ball model is based on both your ball upgrades, such as Spider Ball in particular, and your suits. So there are a few models and textures that simply never got made. Obviously, for example, you don't have one of the face-on suit without Spider Ball, so that just doesn't exist because there's, at least in the base game, the developers thought there would be no way to do that, to get one without the other.
And it looks like Frostbite is heading over to Zoid today.
I believe that's going to be our first Zoid check of this race.
Also has not picked up the Spider Ball yet, but when they do get that, be able to check Upper Dynamo if they want to trek back there. Behind Zoid is the Ice Beam.
Oh, that is going to be a huge advantage.
Wow. Zoid hiding the goods today.
We still have one item left on Zoid itself.
Yeah, let's see if it can be 2 for 2.
Watch as the incinerator drone holds a flamethrower. Because there are, I believe, about 7 of them. We have 6 for, since we're playing with half the artifacts, and we're also missing another item because we start with charge beam. So there are going to be 7 flamethrowers today. We've seen 2 of them. One in Lava Lake and the other in Ruined Shrine. Though this could just as easily turn out to be Plasma Beam.
And maybe it's Ice Spreader. I'll have both Ice Beam items, despite being the fire guy.
That would be really ironic. Most likely it will just be a missile expansion though, but it's much more fun if we spend this 60 seconds hyping up Zoid. This was a pretty poor Zoid fight. The RNG was not kind. You can tell because the criteria...
And he has Boost
my
Ball!
God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Zoid was loaded today, and it's probably going to be a very long time until tocapa actually gets that, because Zoid is just so long, so out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
that runners will want to risk skipping it, because it just saves so much time if you don't have to go there.
Well, and also tocapa couldn't even go there earlier because of lacking bombs.
That true. It would be very inconvenient to route now. It would cost them even more time. But Frostbite just was able to route that very conveniently and got massively rewarded for doing so. They still do not have their phase-on suit though, and they might not necessarily check the room where it was in. It is a little out of the way, but they do have their wave beam now, and it's at least a little close to the Talon elevator, so it might still happen.
Even if they orphan it, it's not really a terrible location for it to be, because it's pretty close to final bosses anyway.
We're going to get a check of Furnace. Lower Furnace is going to hold a missile. Tocapa, meanwhile, moving through Phendrana. Not going to find a whole lot, as we know, but unfortunately they have to find that out for themselves. Frostbite using a little trick to get up here without Spider Ball.
Now, can we actually see what the upper furnace item is? Oh, it's an E-Tank, okay. I usually have a lot of trouble seeing that. But
yes, that's quite difficult.
E-Tanks stick out at least.
Honestly, it's a little hard to tell who's in the lead just because we have such vastly different routes and items obtained. And what are we going to have in this room? That's an artifact. So Frostbite is going to be wanting to grab that. Oh yeah, I forgot there was an artifact here. This is Crossway, right? I can't remember a lot of the late Chozo names.
Probably. I don't think there were any other artifacts in Chozo, so...
This is actually quite tricky because this final jump here is absolutely very difficult. You have to... Oh, but they succeed. The big thing is that you want to have 0 vertical velocity right as you hit that gap. Because if you're falling too quickly, or if you're rising too quickly when you hit that gap, you will just slide past it instead of slotting in like the runners want.
But you got to do that room the vanilla way, man.
Also going to be using some stand-up terrain in this room as well to get these beam locks up before they finish the ghost fight. This skips them doing the statue cutscene to get launched up there. Plus, they don't have spider balls, so that wouldn't really work anyways. Copper, meanwhile, heading into Ruined Courtyard. I remember Frostbite did not have the wave beam here, could not have gone here. So they're going to be seeing some new checks and most likely heading into labs as well to grab that artifact in Hydra.
So going into labs will be pretty unfortunate without Ice Beam because they won't be able to take it through to
the Ice Beam is really what you are hoping to have in labs. Or you're hoping it's there in labs if you don't already have it, because it lets you just pop right out the back and do deep fin draw on it. It's just this wonderful routing masterpiece when it happens, but a lot of the times our runners are not going to be so lucky, and this is going to be one of those times.
And especially without warp to start on, that's probably why tocapa is saving right here, because get through, get all the way to the end of the labs, no Ice Beam, and you didn't get anything else important, then you probably just want to warp out and not do the stupid backtrack all the way.
Our artifact is very early in Research Lab Hydra, so it won't be so bad if they have to reload and just grab the artifact and then jump back out. It would be a lot worse if it were in somewhere like a control tower or if it were in Aether, for example. Somehow Frostbite misses the beam lock.
And our lower item is just a missile.
Nothing of interest. One thing we're going to see a lot of is Frostbite going to be using that boost ball to gain these little advantages, just by being able to traverse these rooms much faster. So getting a boost ball early, it tends to be very, very helpful. It just makes you faster overall. In a lot of, especially flat rooms, that can be the quickest way to move. Especially these tunnels here in Chozo Ruins, which are completely flat. Very easy to traverse in that manner. Research Lab Hydra really bullying tocapa.
Yeah, tocapa's getting pushed around a lot, and also can't even, because this is Hydra, so this is the one with the artifact, which you need supers for, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. The Aether was the jar that you can break with just missiles, so no, they won't be able to grab that yet. I was getting the two mixed up.
Oh, finally rereading the artifacts with Frostbite. That's helpful. Oh wait, no, he read them when he scanned them, but he's just rereading them now for his own sake.
Yeah, just as a refresher. Apologies, forgot to mark that artifact earlier.
Thermal.
A thermal in observatory. That's quite funny. Haha, hee hee. Quite a good joke. Tocapa is maneuvering around those stationary pirates. If you do not actually progress through that room normally, they will just kind of stand there. Although there are some circumstances where they will get actually brought back to life and will start fighting you. Frostbite gets a power bomb expansion, quite nice.
Yep.
Gonna be heading into Late Talon. Psych.
I guess it was just checking that one item.
Tocapa got the fight skip there. There's a fight trigger that's just outside that door, but if you do not move forwards and manage to get around it, you can skip the fight altogether.
Oh,
you're also going to see them do another trick here to knock down the control tower without plasma beam.
Yeah, that first shot was a long shot they're going for.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely incredible if they made that after the jump out of the cutscene.
And yeah, did tocapa save earlier? And
And that's our
flamethrower.
flamethrower number 3.
Yeah, did
They
tocapa
did.
save
They saved in
after?
Ruined Courtyard.
Well, no, did they save after getting the thermal visor too?
They did go into the save room at Observatory. I assume they did.
Yeah, because
Although
that's
that might have been just an energy refill.
yeah. Well, because if they saved, then that's if they end up getting nothing here and have to walk out, then that's a longer way to go, just for
And
thermal.
we do
Which
know that they will not be getting the ice beam, unfortunately, so they will be walking out.
yeah. Well, even just the knowledge here will be nice.
Second
Oh,
artifact for Frostbite.
great tree chamber, and that's a missile there, and also a missile there. I think it was hard to see behind the boxes.
And I didn't see anything of importance in Research Lab Aether. Frostbite going into Life Grove Tunnel.
And yep, and that's
Nothing in Research Core.
So if it's just an expansion there, does it not play the cutscene when you scan it?
And I don't know what that was about, actually. There's going to be an energy tank in Life Grove 1, but we'll see what the second item is. That's a very out of the way check, especially for tocapa, so if there's something there, that could be a pretty big advantage. We know there's not going to be a phase on there's
Just
our
another
fourth
flamethrower.
flamethrower of the game. 3 left to find, collect all 7.
Collect all 7 Chaos Flamethrowers so you can become Super Samus.
One in every box of marked Samus cereal. Pirate O's. And this Life Grove Tunnel boost track is going to be messing around with Frostbite quite a bit.
Oh,
this one is actually quite notorious for being pretty terrible because those cracks and bumps in the level geometry, or in the models, are actually modeled in the level geometry. They are actually colliding with them. That's just a pattern you'll see a lot. Frostbite going to go for bar skip. This is a very difficult trick, but if they manage to, first try, that's absolutely an incredible display of skill.
Fantastic.
Bar skip is actually incredibly difficult trick to do, but a lot of our runners know it because it's useful in some of the speed runs. But just getting that first try is absolutely incredible.
Now heading down into mines. So
going in through the original elevator, which is very, very good for their routing because that means they'll be able to get those artifacts in Security Cave and Security Access A very, very easily. At least if memory serves of where those artifacts are. I, of course, could be talking like a buffoon right now.
Well, they were somewhere in upper mines, right? So,
yeah. I know one of them is the room before the security room, and there's going to be a little power bomb wall that they knock out, and that's going to be easy peasy. One artifact. They already have 2, so this is really quite good. The one thing that they don't have going is that they have not found that Phazon suit, and that might end up eluding them for quite some time.
I also do not have Spider Ball yet, which is that needed for stuff in upper mines at all? Because I know it's going to be needed for their shoreline artifact. Oh, that's plasma.
Oh, that is absolutely incredible.
All right. So that's all the beams.
The first to grab all beams.
Yeah.
Tocapa won't be missing this though because it's in a main quarry. It's so hard to not check this.
Yeah,
you would have to really try.
Yeah, the ice beam is the thing that might take them a little longer to find, just because it's not in a very convenient spot.
That's going to be all 3 beams.
Yeah. Although the thing is, well, we know where Spider Ball is because Tocapa already has it. And we know that's required. We still have no idea where supers are.
That is true. There's going to be a next artifact for Frostbite.
I guess it is kind of convenient to have plasma right there because they can actually check the item in here, which is just missiles.
Good to know. It's always convenient that you can shoot that door through the little force bars.
Super's behind Omega Pirate. Oh, I hope so. That would be great.
It is actually possible to go through quite a bit of mines without Spider Ball. I believe in NQA, Spider becomes quite important for crossing, but there is actually a scan dash you can do from atop the really high point where there's a secret item in the room, and where you can just make it all the way to the door. And if they manage that, that's going to be quite good for them. However, it's not the easiest dash, certainly. I've seen other runners spend quite a lot of time getting tripped up there. I remember in one race I commentated, a runner lost at least a good 3 minutes just trying to get across NQA with no Spider Ball. And it can be an absolute pain. We're going to be going into Elite Research now. First, we're going to be checking the Elite on the bottom, for which the room is presumably named. And the curious thing about these pirates, you saw that Frostbite just ended up being able to unload missile after missile with no consequences, really. They aren't actually capable of attacking you until they've turned to get a good look at you. So if you just keep kind of strafing around them, they never get this moment where they're finally facing directly towards Samus, and they'll just continue trying to turn around until they can do so. Runners abuse this by essentially just unloading into it, strafing around, and never getting looked at, and therefore being able to continue attacking for free. Frostbite falling down there. Getting up this room quickly can be quite difficult and hazardous as well. You'll notice that Frostbite is starting to lose quite a bit of energy. We're on to a little over a tank. Thankfully, Wave Beam does stun these pirates when you charge it, so that won't be too bad.
So Tocapa's heading over to this side of Magmore. Still does not have Ice Beam. Or, well, yeah, still does not have Ice Beam.
Frostbite trying to get some standable terrain to skip a scan point, but it's not really working out so well for them. Just go for the terminal. Getting stuck doing some maneuvering on a bit of geometry. And yes, they couldn't get the standable terrain, so they did have to scan that scan point. And now they're going to be fighting this power pirate up here. Fortunately, doing a pretty good job of dodging.
Did Frostbite use X-ray to check the item? Because I did not see it.
Oh,
doing it right now. Just missiles.
Yeah, what Frostbite would quite like to see now is an energy tank just to refill their health. This is going to be ore processing. It is possible to climb up this room without Spider Ball. This is another. Ordinarily, Spider Ball would be required, but there's not terribly difficult method of scaling this room. Going to be getting dangerously low on health.
Yeah. And
if they die now, that would be an absolute disaster.
And unlike Prime 2, which has a very friendly drop system, Prime 1 has nothing of the sort. So if you're low on health, the game can just give you nothing but missiles, and we'll just say, deal with it.
Frostbite will absolutely be scavenging for any health that they can find, which may not be much at all.
Alright, so Tocapa checked the item on Quarantine Monitor, which is just an E-Tank, and is now save warping out.
Well, not really save warping, they're just resetting. Obviously, save warping is a completely different mechanic that they've chosen to disable. Not going to be checking this, and it is an E-Tank. That is very, very fortunate. That's going to allow them to progress quite a bit farther and still feel relatively safe. if they so choose to. And it appears they are choosing to head further down into mines. I believe they need another artifact from mines anyways, so I don't really see how they could possibly want to dip out. I believe this next room will actually hold their next artifact. I'm not really good with the mines room names, so I apologize. Oh no, that's our ice spreader.
Yeah.
Again, I'm bad with room names.
Well, that's a decent luxury item for the final boss.
Absolutely.
Especially with all the missiles that Frostbite has.
That's going to be very much appreciated, and we already know our super missiles are going to be mandatory, so they'll be getting them anyways.
Now the question is, where's Wavebuster for the full tracker?
And that elite pirate going down very, very quickly. Same trick as the other elite pirate before. That actually applies to this entire sort of class of enemies. Even Omega Pirate suffers in part from this vulnerability, because they have used a lot of the same AI code.
This even bleeds into Prime 2, where the Ink Smashers are basically just reskinned elite pirates.
Going to be entering, I believe this is ventilation shaft or something like that. But it fills quite quickly with toxic gas. That actually isn't that toxic, but going to be skipping that, heading into this next room. Pretty soon they will be at Dynamo and the other Dynamo, where they'll be fighting the invisible drone. Tocapa, meanwhile, heading back to Talon. This room is a lot harder to strafe around the pirate, but you see they still manage it. You notice they were getting kind of scrunched up against the wall at tight space, makes it very difficult. Frostbite has the X-ray visor, will be able to target onto the invisible drone and just absolutely nuke them. Little known fact is that you can't actually see the invisible drone with that X-ray visor, since you don't get it at that point in the game. I believe that is a flamethrower that they'll have to get. It's actually mandatory to pick up this one particular item. If you don't and you try to progress to the next room, the game will have too much in its memory and it will crash.
Have you been counting squares on this maze? Because I wasn't.
This seems like kind of a mediocre maze so far.
It's actually kind of a bit. This actually looks like
this is a really
horrible maze.
One. They're going through most of these squares.
Yeah.
Very, very long maze. The maze is, of course, randomly generated. That's another one of Zoid's doings, if memory serves. And that's going to be our 6th flamethrower, if I've been counting right. Or was that our 7th?
I don't know.
We've seen most of them either way.
Yeah, but looks like Tocapa is now finally heading back into Chozo and will hopefully be getting that Ice Beam and Boost Ball.
Yes.
Oh, is Tocapa going for Flagra?
I hope not.
That would be really bad right now.
Unless Flagra has our super missiles, which have not been found yet.
That would be really funny, but...
I think the biggest troll would be Gravity Suit on Flagra.
Well, they don't even need Gravity. Okay, so he's not going all the
way.
Well,
yeah, no, it would be bad, because Gravity Suit on Flagra, that tells me, oh boy. All this terrible, nasty stuff is in logic now. Is that where my super missiles are?
Oh yeah, because that would put frigate stuff under there.
Which is even worse, because some of the frigate checks require super missiles.
Oh.
So they wouldn't even be getting that many checks.
Well, it's only one check, right? That requires supers.
Yes, but there were only 3 checks in frigate.
Yeah.
And this is the room MQA, which would ordinarily require Spider Ball, but Frostbite is going to be trying to do some tricks. to get past this requirement using some standard terrain to quickly get to the top of the room. And performing a dash to try and get to the door. This isn't where I saw this dash being done from last time, but it's still going to be quite difficult. There's not a lot of good things to dash off.
Oh yeah, because Frostbite never picked up the spider ball.
Contemplating his approach here.
Yeah, well, we did blow up all those Metroids, so maybe it would have been better.
Not quite making it. This is a very difficult one.
Yeah, might have been better to reload the room and not kill all of them, so he could freeze one and scan.
That might be what he's going to do if he's not just leaving outright. But freezing a Metroid, I almost thought that's what Frostbite was planning to do there for a second when that Metroid came up.
Also, did Tocapa just check upper dynamo? Did I just miss that?
Quite possibly.
It looked like they were coming back from there.
Frostbite, though, is choosing to head out of mines now. Time will tell whether that was a smart decision or not.
Okay, upper dynamo was checked and it was just a missile. So now
they are going into Zoid, so they won't be missing out on their beams much longer.
Yep.
They still don't have plasma, of course. That's going to be fairly significant.
But Ice Beam should lead them over to plasma, just because they'll take you over to late Talon, and from there you go straight to front of Phazon mines. So yeah, I'll get it. But there's that Ice Beam.
Now Frostbite is actually going to be taking this. Oh wait, I misspoke.
I'm pretty sure Frostbite.
Taking the elevator to Magmore, I believe. I don't think they can get up to the Talon elevator, anyways.
Oh yeah, all
without
over here.
Spireball.
Yep, over this way. And there's one more item here too they can check. Although it's my power bomb wall, so hopefully they get a power bomb drop.
They can check that with X-ray though.
Yeah, they can check it, but if they want to get it, then they need a power bomb.
In all likelihood, it will be another missile expansion, and that's what they're hoping for. And they did get that power bomb drop regardless. It was a missile, so didn't need it.
Oh, can backdoor check this item too if you want.
Yes, that's most likely what they're doing. The key here is that they're jumping off the Phazon, which a Phazon actually increases in damage the longer you're on it. So by jumping off the Phazon periodically, you prevent it from really ramping up.
Kappa has just picked up Boost Ball. Zoid really was packing today.
Yes, absolutely. It's positively loaded. It's absolutely stacked. Tocapa now going to be going into a late Chozo. Probably not going to be getting anything of interest there, minus the artifacting crossway, of course. Frostbite, meanwhile, managing the climb up this room quite well. This is some of the more difficult platforming in the game. There's so many places you can be falling down, but it's manageable for our runners.
It's just a really tall room, honestly.
Yes, that's the problem with it. Missile expansion in lower furnace, as we remember, and there's going to be an energy tank in upper furnace, if my memory serves.
Yeah, Tocapa will most likely just be doing all the late shows and stuff that Frostbite did earlier.
Yes. Frostbite heading into late mag, we're going to be able to do a lot more of it. Won't be able to do, I believe, without Spider Ball, that you can do geothermal. It's not, I think it can be done possibly, but...
Is that the vanilla plasma location?
Yes. Okay, what's this?
I'm pretty sure you don't need Spider to do that. I think you can do like a slope jump in standable terrain.
I meant to climb up to get to the actual bomb slots, not so much to actually get after you open it. Obviously, the Spider isn't required after you open it up. That's an artifact for Tocapa. Lots of later artifacts this game.
Yeah, we're an hour into this seed, and well, Frostbite does have 3 artifacts, but Kappa just picked up first one.
This isn't looking like a 2-hour seed, fortunately.
Well,
But super missiles still have to
yeah,
be accounted for.
that's the crux of the issue. Those could be in a lot of places.
We are going to start seeing some more Phadrana checks from Frostbite, who has a lot of the items you would want when you're going into Phadrana. Grabs the energy tank and monitor. Probably not going to do Thardus.
Yeah, not desperate enough for that right now.
Sometimes, though, yeah, you see runners who just choose to take it because they like risk. They want to play a little bit wild to throw off their opponents, and if they guess right, if they make the right gamble, sometimes that can pay off massively.
That sounds like me when I go to Ridley in like every fusion seed. Except that's a terrible idea. You should never do that.
Ridley isn't even really accurate because it takes so much to go to Ridley that there's only I believe it's only Gravity Suit that you can really find on Ridley that you would.
No, you can get not space jump, speed booster on Ridley if your seed is really stupid. It can happen.
Wouldn't there be a door or something in the way that would be a high enough level to stop that?
I don't believe so.
Is it really just level zeros all the way to Ridley?
Yeah, because the red doors are only if you enter it from the vanilla way.
Ah, yes.
Or alternatively, you could, like, if you end up having to enter the vanilla way, and then, like, some stupid, like, vanilla screw attack happens, and you need it to get out, while one of the other items down in Turian area is, like, plasma, or charge.
Oh, that sounds despicable.
It's lovely.
Especially since in Fusion Rando, of course, you are not logically expected, or are not logically required to have charge to defeat Box 2. But let's just try and stay on topic to the game at hand.
Hey, Ridley's in this game too. But yeah.
Very briefly, yes.
Yeah, Frostbite is...
Especially since both of our runners have Boost Ball, Ridley will not be in this game for very long at all.
Yeah, Frostbite right now is doing all these far from Drana checks, while tocapa is cleaning out far Chozo and will hopefully be heading over to mines to get that.
Frostbite really wants to find something big here. There's, of course, the artifact at Phadrana's Edge. We already knew about that.
Where are the last 2 artifacts?
There was one in, I want to say, like, Security Cave or something like that, and I know there was one in, hold on, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the other artifact location. Heading into the gravity chamber now, Frostbite is. The upper item looks like nothing.
And I couldn't see what the lower item was either. Oh wait.
Oh wait, no, it's this is our
gravity.
In gravity chamber, no. Oh no, this is terrible.
Oh, that's...
Now, if Frostbite wants to get out, they have to do an absolutely terrible slope jump. It's not incredibly difficult since you get so many of your drivers of business. The slope here is really something that's difficult to work with. Not quite. They at least know how to do it, it would appear. Experienced runner.
Yeah.
Okay, get the third try. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
still got this one.
Bad. Oh, is this one worse?
I think this one's a lot better. I remember the lower one being trickier.
Yeah, I'm not quite knowledgeable.
So they only have this small rock on the upper one. They at least don't have any backwards geometry to worry about slowing them down. It's still quite precise. Very close on that try. I honestly think they should probably just use grapple, try to get up the intended way, because they do have the grapple beam, they do have the plasma beam. They have everything they need, but they're just choosing to do the scan dash, and that really was not something they wanted to do. This final slope jump is the easiest of the three.
All right, well, they're out.
Yes, that is quite good. I think they'll probably want to do this the intended way. Unless they've forgotten that they can. Oh, goodness gracious. They almost fell down again, but they made it back onto the walkway.
And oh no, that's
Not again.
Oh.
They at least killed the shark thing that pulls you in.
Yeah.
This is still going to be very unfun.
Also, did Tocapa get the artifact in Great Tree Chamber yet? I might have missed it if they did.
I wasn't looking. I apologize. I'm too fixated on this intense slope jump action.
Oh yeah. So what is the vanilla way to get that item?
Well, in this room, and they actually have access to this vanilla way. I think they've just forgotten. There is some ice crystals that you have to break with your plasma beam, and then a grapple point appears under them, which you can use to grapple to the ledge.
Okay, then yeah, they could just do that right now.
And Tocapa going for bar skip, not quite getting it the first try like Frostbite did. Could be here for quite a while. Again, this is a very difficult trick. The fact that Frostbite was able to do it the first try was really a showcase of that runner's incredible skill. Also, I was wrong. It appears the second slope jump is really the trickiest of the three. They are still very good at it, though, so it shouldn't take them too long to get back out. And there it goes. They're basically as good as out again. I'm curious to see if they just end up leaving this gravity suit behind.
And that's Tocapa through with the bar skip.
Very good. This third slope jump getting Frostbite's in trouble. Almost make it.
Alright, so I'm going to assume that Tocapa got the Great Tree Chamber artifact, because that was an artifact.
They probably did.
Okay, yeah.
So we might see Frostbite just leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now
apparently does not realize that they have access to the vanilla art method of doing that.
Well, because you never see anybody do that. Like, it's always either the slope jump or just you never get it.
I didn't actually know what the vanilla way was until I actually sat down and wrote the logic for that room in the first mock-up of the Prime database.
Now Tocapa is here in Phazon Mines. We'll be getting Plasma Beam shortly. And then that pretty much just puts us into Super's Go mode.
Which is a very unusual thing to hear. And Frostbite, of course, does not have the Phazon suit. That's important to remember. That could be absolutely massive.
Oh, what if Supers are in the vanilla newborn location?
Oh my goodness, that would be despicable.
Gross.
Honestly, I'll do you one better. Supers on Wild.
Which one's wild?
The ghosts in the Flogger room.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that one oh wait, no, Frostbite doesn't have Spider yet, but if he ends up doing that, he would probably end up getting Spider first because that's nearby.
Yes. Frostbite going to be heading backwards into Lavs.
Yep, that's just missile.
Of course, we know they will not be finding supers here, so they will have to leave the artifact in at Hydra for later. They will, however, be grabbing their thermal visor, which could be sending them a very unwelcome message.
Oh yeah, I wonder if after getting the thermal visor, they're gonna like go back and try to get gravity. But well, let's try to think about like terrible super missile locations because
Phazon mining tunnel.
Yeah, well, could they be locked behind gravity? Are there any checks that would happen for?
Well, we already know it's not in gravity chamber.
Yeah.
I believe some of the frigate ones, yes.
Well, the one in the middle of frigate is super locked anyway, and I know that the other two frigate items, I'm pretty sure those have been gotten. I'm pretty sure those can be gotten without gravity.
I know the one closest to the one farthest out can be gotten without gravity. It's a little tricky, but so
Yeah,
doable.
the morph ball tunnel one, you need to do like some wall boosts.
Yes. Frostbite going to be doing the cutscene skip in reverse now, trying to get into the door without starting the fight.
Oh yeah, because he ended up going in the back way, didn't he?
Yes. Does it just fine though, no problems there. Tocapa, meanwhile, is heading deeper into mines. They will be able to continue after MQA, though, unlike Frostbite. Who grabs the thermal visor, easy peasy.
Oh man, Takapa's having some difficulties with this room and getting into that little boost slot. And ended up
Yes,
falling.
they're trying to do the same standable terrain we saw Frostbite
Yeah.
struggle with to
Well,
try and skip his scan terminal.
well, he did get up there already, but then he accidentally boosted off the platform and
Oh
fell
no,
down.
that's no good. Gets up again though. No big deal. One of the changes that the randomizer does is that you can scan that scan terminal, that scan post from the other side of the barrier, which ordinarily would be not really possible. Heading into the first room of labs, going to leave after this fight, of course. Oh, there's the door locking. That's spooky. Two pirates with one charged shot. Very, very nice. That fight really is not difficult at all with charge and plasma. You're going to see this pirate is expecting Samus to walk in from the other side of the room. So I think it's another T-pose pirate.
I do like the way they stand when their AI hasn't been activated because they're kind of like they're almost standing upright like they're trying to look intimidating to somebody.
Yeah, it's like what you're supposed to do when you see wild animals. You're supposed to make yourself look as big as possible.
Well, it's all I mean also combined with like the pirate faces. It's like they're doing like a come at me bro stance.
That too. There's going to be an item in Chozo Ice Temple that neither runner was able to check because now they, of course, have Plasma Beam. Under the Chozo statue, there is going to be an item, and it looks like we're going to get a peek at that. Tocapa got their Ice Spreader. Another step closer to full tracker.
And this is just an E-tank.
Not what we were looking for. going to be checking this ice item. Of course, we know that's still the missile from earlier. Going to be grabbing it anyways. And probably heading to the Magmore elevator. I imagine we'll be seeing Frostbite return to Chozo through this. After they get to Magmore, of course.
So now Tocapa's down here. I guess they're probably just gonna soldier on through the rest of the lower mines.
And we haven't been seeing any super missiles anywhere else. They aren't. They could still be down in the deeper parts of mines, which would be absolute disaster. Frostbite.
Also, did I miss the other artifact they picked up? Probably.
I also wasn't watching Tocapa.
Yeah.
You should probably be doing that.
Well, I'm trying to balance between like watching that and also keeping up with chat and stuff. But
Nice.
yeah, because there were 2 artifacts in upper mines.
I'm greedy. I do not read the chat. I want to get this gameplay in its full glory. Chat.
Oh, what? I try to
is
interact.
going to be getting disrespected by me.
All right. Well, now that we know that you're not going to be reading it, chat, insert all of your vitriol towards Pure Roulette right now.
I am actually the heel of this tournament.
But yeah, because there were 2 artifacts in upper mines. There was the one like at the very start behind a power bomb, and then what room was the other one in?
I don't even remember if there was another artifact in mines.
No, I thought there was.
This is why you want a separate tracker, because
Yeah,
keeping track of these things is quite difficult.
Exactly. Well, it's also probably why we should have just written down what the artifacts were at the start when they read them.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't know like at least a third of the room names, so it wouldn't actually be all that helpful anyways.
That's what I usually try to do for any Echoes races, commentating, or even just watching, just typing it in chat.
Echoes is also a much bigger game. There's more rooms, and of course there's the entire Dark World, plus there's 9 Sky Temple keys instead of 6 artifacts.
Yeah.
So that's a lot more understandable.
Yeah. But you also read the hints much later compared to reading hints here.
That is true. You will usually see quite a few STKs by the time you get to hints.
Mm-hmm.
Tocapa is going to be heading out.
Looks like they're going to be doing Far from Drana stuff now.
Unfortunately, that's not the play to make. If they had stuck with lower mines, they could have gotten something out of that.
Well, no, there's an artifact that they got to pick up over here. In a... whatever it was called.
Well, yes, but they still won't be able to grab Hydra, and it was in Phendrana's Edge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be both Hydra and Shorelines that they're going to have.
Frostbite finally going to be grabbing their Spider Ball after quite some delay.
Okay, so wait, no, there was... Never mind, I was wrong. There was only one... Well, no, Tocapa already picked up... did not pick up 4 artifacts, so I'm glad I didn't mark that by accident. Because there's 3 artifacts left.
Looks like they're going to be checking. At least Frostbite is, so 4 artifacts is what he has.
Yes, well... Yeah, because I was thinking that there were 2 artifacts. I was thinking that they had 2 artifacts going into mines when they didn't.
Now, hopefully, Frostbite going to just beeline over to where we know there is going to be a very important item for them. I forget what exactly was on the lower part of this tower. It was something important. Oh, Phazon, that's right.
Oh, yeah, so they're going to be grabbing that.
It's very, very good that they're going to be obtaining that now.
Yeah. So then it will pretty much just be looking for supers.
We did get Upper Dynamo, correct?
Yes, it was just missiles.
Yeah, yes. So there are still a few things. There's the plasma bit in the room with the Morph Ball statue. Okay, tocapa obtaining another artifact. Plus, there's also going to be Flagra and Wild. I think we probably would have seen the antechamber. I didn't see if that got a check, but it probably did.
Yeah, I doubt they skipped it. But there's Frostbite's Phazon suit.
Probably feeling quite happy that he finally found that. Frostbite forgetting that that morph tunnel is.
Oh, and yep, tocapa actually does it the vanilla way. Good on you for remembering, man.
So tocapa will actually be obtaining the gravity suit. That probably won't mean much, but it could. Frostbite, it looks like, is going in the direction of Flagra. We might see Flagra and Wild here. Now, of course, Flagra isn't the only boss that could, in theory, have our supers. We also got Thardus and Omega Pirate.
Yeah, at this point, they're, aside from that gravity that tocapa picked up, the runners are relatively tied, so it's really just a matter of who finds supers first.
And Frostbite is not heading up towards Flagra, at least not in that direction.
He's probably checking Upper Dynamo first.
Ah, yes, that is probably what Frostbite is planning to do. Really, yeah, our runners in terms of items are very, very even, but I think Frostbite has the advantage because they didn't spend loads and loads of time in labs. They just did it once. They never have to come. They don't have to come back except for that artifact with Hydra.
Yeah.
And they were able to wrap that in after Farfadrana, so that they just have a lot more checks done, a lot less places to look.
Yeah, well, it's also just a matter of their current positions as well. Because
where they are on the map is very, very important.
Without save warping, it matters a lot that tocapa is all the way in Farfadrana right now.
So if it turns out to be on Thardus or in late mines, this could very well be quite terrible. Of course, if it is on Thardus and we see a check of that could be absolutely fantastic for them. But I think if that happened, I would probably have to quit forever.
Alright, so tocapa heading back. Potentially to go down into lower mines.
Frostbite's still not looking for that Flagra fight. Maybe changing his mind. Indeed.
Yeah.
Collecting the scan points.
Oh. Yeah. Climbing up. Not happy about it, that's for sure.
Yes, a little bit angry, certainly.
Yeah, like what kind of places, what places are left for supers to be? Because there's anywhere in lower mines.
The 2 items in Frigate, as well as Flagra, Wild, and Thardus.
Yep.
And I think that's about it. Geothermal core, actually, too.
Oh yeah, none of them checked that. tocapa might check that here.
Or plasma processing, I believe the room with the plasma in it is actually called.
Yeah. Yeah, I think tocapa's. Yep, about to check it.
Yes, if this is our Goma, that could be very, very bad for Frostbite.
That would be huge.
But this is just 1 item compared to Flagra and Wild being 2. They're very slow items, but they're 2 items in the same room.
Yeah, I mean that's what the seed has kind of turned into. Is just like whoever checks that one out of the way thing that happens to be supers gets
yes,
a huge
these
advantage.
sort of 1 item hunts can be very, very exhilarating, certainly.
And we still haven't seen lower mines either. So, for all we know, it could just be over there.
Yes, Frostbite. I would say is probably. If it turns out to be in PMT, that could be very good that they didn't go into lower mines yet, because they now have Phazon suit.
Just an E-tank and plasma processing.
E-tank and plasma processing, so it's not tocapa's lucky day, unfortunately. That's another scratcher down the drain. We've got a few more gambles they can take.
Oh, never mind. Wild cannot be supers because I forgot the vanilla way to do that. You have to break a supers thing blocking a scan point.
I thought early wild was in logic if you had Spider Ball.
Is it? I don't know.
If someone's correcting me in the chat, I assume they probably are correct.
Well, someone
But I
mentioned
don't
in
think
chat
so.
that ghosts can't have supers on it.
We're going to be seeing Frostbite do these pro strats all day. Pro level strats to defeat Flagra super quick. Usually they don't actually bother dealing with the mirrors. What they do is they actually just jump over the pit, morph next to the bomb slot, which isn't an actual bomb slot, but just a damage trigger. So by laying the bomb next to it, they can still damage Flagra.
Oh, I think Tocapa's gonna go check the Arbor Chamber. That's something we kind of forgot about.
Oh, that is also a check and Flagra is dead. The plant has been pruned.
Oh yeah, Tocapa might actually head to Frigate after this too, which, given the gravity, yeah, I don't blame him. But first, is it Arbor Chamber? It is not Arbor Chamber.
And is it going to be Flagra?
Is it Flagra? It
It
is!
is!
Wow!
And that is an absolutely incredible turn of
Flagra?
events.
Oh no, that's a flamethrower!
That was
That's
our
a seventh flamethrower! Damn it!
Oh, that fooled both of us. That was absolutely really
Curses.
That was despicable. That was cruel. This is why you shouldn't do flamethrower. You do wave buster.
And now Frostbite is going to be doing early wild, despite not being sure if it's actually in logic to have supers there.
They probably have knowledge of that.
Maybe.
These are the people who spend a lot more time practicing than I do. I don't practice at all. I'm not a player.
I don't even play this game.
More of a developer.
Yeah.
Our second item in Sunjammer is going to be after this fight.
Oh, it's got them not actually going, or is it just checking this item up here?
Yeah, making some leaps and bounds.
Okay, just checking that item and heading into Frigate.
Okay, Frigate's one of our trash areas. It could also be Lower Mines. It could also be Gardas or Omega Pirate. Or on this wild. But we are very quickly running out of places where it can actually be Frostbite getting these various skilled stuns. That it takes really, really precise timing to do, quite difficult. These chain stuns. Now, the one thing about Frigate is that the checks are very, very far apart. Frigate is a very long section.
Yeah, it's a long section to only have 3 checks.
And it's a missile on wild.
Oh.
I'd say, honestly, that positioning alone, it not being at Flagra, is probably put Tocapa in a lead. Although, again, it is pure chance at this point, where this super missile turns out to be.
Yep. So, first item coming up, I think?
Honestly, that was just an excuse so I could listen to the Frigate music.
Yep. Alright, just a missile in there.
But it's at least justifiable.
So, there's only one other item here in Frigate that it could be.
That's in Gamma, I believe.
Whatever the Morph Ball Tunnel room is called.
Being the guy who actually did all this database work, I really should know more room names, but I do not. This is the best that you will ever get from me. To be fair, I didn't work on talent. Although I did actually write logic for the Frigate itself. The starting frigate, not the sunken one.
How does logic work with starting frigate?
I think it really doesn't. It's just kind of in the database, but obviously nobody starts on frigate, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay. So you're saying that you wrote the logic for something that has no logic?
More or less. I guess you do technically need scan visor.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so here's the other frigate item.
Oh, will we be getting our lottery ticket? Will we be getting our scratcher coming back with a big prize? Or is that just something we have to throw in the trash? And of course they pay for these dearly with time, and it is nothing. That is going to sting a
Another
lot.
miss.
So Frostbite was actually making a pretty beneficial choice in skipping the gravity suit, since we now know that's not there. They don't have that temptation of frigate quite as strong in their head.
But Frostbite also doesn't know that. He
Probably
he doesn't know
really
that.
matter.
But he also
his plasma item in a statue room.
Yeah, he doesn't know that, but he also might end up checking there without gravity, because you can get those two items without gravity, assuming he knows.
Probably only going to be grabbing the back one. The other one is quite nasty.
Yeah. Unless, of course, this item here in Elder Chamber is our supers.
Elder Chamber, yeah. Called. I thought it was that, but I wasn't sure.
But yeah, it's the chamber where you get Elder. So it's called Elder Chamber.
And honestly, this does make sense. As an Elder Chamber, the elderly, I imagine, would be quite fond of bowling. That is this statue's, of course, actual purpose.
Oh yeah, that is what it does, isn't it?
Sit down some bowling pins, have a lot of fun. I assume they've maybe set some bowling pins on the wall. That's probably why they have the different tracks.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's how they clear them.
Oh, that could be it.
Ancient bowling pin return mechanism.
Final Elder Chamber item. This is the storage room. This is where they keep the polish for their bowling balls.
And also where they keep all the shoes.
Yeah, of course.
But do they keep supers here? No, they don't. It is just a power bomb
expansion. No, that's how they clear the pins.
Just absolutely annihilate all of them.
All right, so this is looking like it's going to favor Tocapa. The only place it could be other than lower mines at this point, I think, is in Thardis. And I have a feeling Frostbite is not going to check Thardis.
Oh.
And I also feel like it's probably not going to be there anyways. If it is,
course.
though, that would be absolutely incredible. I mean, Tocapa checks literally every location in the game.
Yeah, it could end up being that it's just literally sitting on Thardis, and they both go clear lower mines, only to have the last location it on Thardis.
Which would be absolutely deplorable.
You were saying earlier it's not going to be a 2-hour seed, but it could.
I was being a little optimistic, I suppose. Oh, was this item in ventilation shaft something? It looked like a missile to me.
I don't know. Maybe Tocapa's just...
Oh my goodness.
Oh no!
Frostbite didn't see it.
Dude,
we didn't see it.
He must have thought it was a flamethrower. Or is this a flamethrower too? Are we
God.
baited? No, it's supers!
That was our super missile this whole time.
It was there the whole
Playing
time!
on flamethrower. We thought that was just a meme, but it was a double-edged sword. These two runners ended up slicing themselves on that quite a lot.
I thought it was just a regular missile. Oh.
I thought it was just a missile expansion, yes.
Yeah. Oh man. So did Tocapa...
Oh my goodness gracious.
Did Tocapa pass through that room earlier too and not pick it up?
Possibly, I think so.
Oh wait, no, because
his own processing system.
Well, he just got the cut. Does that cutscene with the things coming down play every time you enter it, or only the first
Well,
time?
maybe not. Maybe not. I don't.
Because he just got the
Frostbite,
cutscene
meanwhile,
wrong.
heading into frigate without the gravity suit.
Oh
Oh
no!
no!
I foresaw this.
Oh no! This is absolutely awful. This seed is just absolutely cruel. Wave Buster. You have to play it safe, folks. Get Wave Buster. No flamethrowers. Do not do this, or this will happen to you.
Oh man, that's well. Tocapa's in go mode now. Sadly, we'll not get a full tracker, but
Wave Buster on Thardus. I'm calling it now.
it could be there. I mean, it's either Thardus or all the way in Lower Mines somewhere.
As much as I would love to switch me into Frostbite right now, Tocapa is very clearly in the lead. We will be tracking their finish very closely. Quite a long way from the start, but Frostbite will be as well.
Well,
Of course, we still have to clean up the 2 artifacts in the Toronto shorelines.
Gonna pass through labs over the shorelines and then head back through Magmore all the way over to Talon. Okay, so according to chat, I think Tocapa just didn't check that room before, and that makes sense because they got the cutscene of the enemies showing up and the poison going in. So presumably that only happens the first time you enter.
Oh wait, does that check require just missiles? I thought that was the one that. Oh wait, no, the one that requires supers is the one like the behind the little vault.
Wait, why is the
Frostbite resetting out? Tocapa, what are you doing? It's in security cave, not in quarantine cave. Unless I have been the one making the silly mistake, I assume I was not. Maybe they are going for the memes. They think they are so ahead that they can just do an all bosses run just for fun.
Well, they already left Lower Mines, so I think it's next to that idea.
Maybe this is where they think Wave Buster is, and they really want that full tracker. I don't know what is going through their head. Maybe they think that was a flamethrower even after picking it up. I don't know how that would be possible, but oh my goodness, if that is what happened, that would be just incredible. I've been seeing some pretty long seeds as I commentate. I think I'm kind of accursed to any runners that I comment. This is just really taking the cake. Frostbite did reset out and is going elsewhere. Possibly get to get the late item in frigate, since that is very, very close to this portion. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I thought they were in late zone. Again, a lot of the later parts of this game have kind of blend together because I didn't do the logic for that bit.
Yeah, chat, we are just as confused as you are about why Tocapa's fighting Thardus. Definitely a question for an interview.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of questions for our runners. We're going to be grilling them quite hard. That is really what we are going to do when we get these runners into the booth. Or, I guess it's not really a real booth, it's just what we call it. Frostbite presumably going for Arbor Chamber. Did they get this earlier? I assume they didn't.
Well, that Thardus down. Yeah, I guess, well, if they check their, if they end up checking their artifacts right after this fight, then we'll know that they mixed them up.
Tink.
And...
Wave Buster
oh,
on
yeah!
Thardus, going for the full tracker meme.
Awesome! Okay, this was all worth it then.
Absolutely legendary. Imagine Tocapa wins with the full tracker after doing the Thardus fight.
Just for Wave Buster.
Oh,
Hopefully I hope that Frostbite ends up going over to Thardus now, just to get that and get baited.
I kind of don't hope. I want to see this be a close race, but I think
I mean, at
that
this,
possibility is so far
yeah,
gone at this point.
I don't think it
It
could
would
possibly
require
be close to this
it
point.
would require an
Um,
amazing mistake, something significantly greater than Frostbite's in not seeing the super missile.
well, because he already saw it. Well,
Well,
he
not
already went through
recognizing
that.
the super
Yeah,
missile. That's even worse.
yeah.
Because
So he's
now
probably never
Frostbite
gonna
thinks
go
that
back
location
there.
is nothing.
Yeah,
Never going to see it again. We might even see a DNF in this race, which would be very upsetting, certainly.
yeah.
But I think there might be no foregoing it. Hopefully, Frostbite comes to their senses, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't think
far,
that's what we're going to see happen.
yeah, so far there's been nothing in the race time chat at least. So
Tocapa getting knocked off the walkway,
yeah,
always a
these
bit
for the
pain.
second time, these guys like same. Last time he was through here too, same stuff happened. He was just getting
They
bullied
deal
everywhere.
a pretty substantial knockback. Get the artifact
Oh,
though.
yeah, yeah. Like they really don't want him to get this artifact.
The last
But
one is in Shoreline's Lighthouse.
yep. So
Frostbite, meanwhile, is going to be checking plasma processing, going to be in for another disappointment.
I guess the silver lining to having done labs earlier is that he doesn't have to do any of these fights or stuff now. You just run right in, grab the item, and leave.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Not going to be. Well, they already have the full tracker though, so I don't really think they would have been in labs anyways.
Yeah.
Gets the masterful scan dash. That one isn't too tricky, but it's still quite, scan dashes aren't free.
Now, finally, he's ready.
And that's our final artifact. Tocapa is going to be heading to Artifact Temple as fast as they possibly can. They have collected every piece of equipment in this game, barring expansions.
How many missiles does the Tocapa have actually compared to? Because Frostbite has 100 max right now.
We'll see in a second. 100 as
60.
well. Oh, wait, I
No.
misread that.
Yeah, that looked like 60.
Apologies, I have this screen fairly small, so I can't see perfectly.
Well, even so, the text of the missile max is like partially transparent, so it's hard
Teeny
to read
tiny as well, so.
that too.
Yes, 60, like you were saying.
Yeah, chat. The 6 artifacts, well, the other 6 artifacts, and the charge beam were replaced with flamethrowers in the item generation. So there's 7 total.
This is going to be quite the parable, quite the warning for future runners, I should hope. Although we may see some defy this for the memes.
Honestly, you'd be better off having the nothings be replaced with Wavebuster, actually, because that's a very distinct looking one. You're not going to
Absolutely.
mistake purple for orange.
I was personally quite a fan of nothing being replaced with grapple beam. That's my favorite so far.
That's not a bad one either. Well, I don't know, because grapple beam definitely opens some things in logic.
Honestly, once you
Like,
get
even if
space
you
jump,
don't,
your skilled players are just going to be able
yeah.
to go all over the place without it.
Well,
So it isn't really as important.
well, yeah, like skilled players don't need it to do grapple checks, but it still informs them of the logic of the seed anyway. So I think it's good
That
to
is
have.
true. That is true.
Whereas Wavebuster does nothing except be a funny Ghostbusters reference.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Bustin'
Don't
makes me
sue me.
feel good.
Frostbite, meanwhile, also doing the thoughtless check. They already did the first frigate item, so I don't think we'll be getting a full tracker out of that, and I don't see them going back to get gravity.
Yeah.
At this point, they're probably absolutely mystified.
Yeah, honestly, if the nothings were something else, Frostbite.
This would have been Frostbite's
yeah.
game. They would have
Frostbite
won
absolutely won.
15 minutes ago.
Yeah, because they would have just grabbed supers the first time and then not be doing this right now.
That is such a tragedy. I keep having to find new words to describe how terrible this really is. I'm really going to have to break out the thesaurus if this goes on for another 20 minutes. But really, the dramatic irony here is what makes watching Randomizer so entertaining. It's just having this knowledge that the runners do not have, I'd say, is what makes it quite a lot of fun as a spectator sport.
It's like watching a horror movie. Don't go that way, no!
No, don't go into the TARDIS. No.
You fool! But here's tocapa going against Metroid as he is attacking him by lagging the game out.
Very effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, this final boss of the series should be very, very easy for tocapa. They have 6 energy tanks. 60 missiles is a bit lower than a lot of times what you'll see, so that could play a part. That could make this a bit slower, but I don't really think that will matter. I think this race, I normally try to be a bit of an optimist to try and make it seem like there is any chance that the lagging runner could possibly come behind, but I really think it is so far gone that there is no mistake tocapa could really make that would cause them to lose the race.
Well, he could die, like, a lot.
I mean, we're being reasonable here. How many times would tocapa really die in Final Boss? 0 to 1 is the number that you would expect. I don't think dying either once or twice, perhaps, would really cost him the race.
Yeah. Also, tocapa doing nice little Ridley trick where he is randomly weak to boost ball in that phase, so his health goes from 75% to like 20%.
Yes, that is actually a bit of an error in this game's damage tables. Most bosses are immune to boost ball, but because Ridley is not, and boost ball does so much damage, the fight is like that. It actually deals damage on every frame that tocapa is in contact with Ridley, so that's going to pretty much instantly end his
It's like Echo Screw Attack in that regard.
Yes. Two are absolutely similar. There's a few other errors in damage tables like that. For example, Flogger can be killed by firing at the main stock with Waypoint Skill. Not that this is feasible, you need about 230 missiles to do it.
Well, that's one that I think a lot of people know about. And tocapa is...
Another one that is quite known is the Exo, is that power beam thing. Exo is a weak to flamethrower of all things.
Good luck hitting that.
Yeah, it's not very useful, but it is interesting. Tocapa finishing up Meta Ridley, that was a very clean fight. We're going to be seeing them finish very, very soon. Frostbite, meanwhile, heading into mines again. This time from PPC, so I don't think they're going to be seeing that ventilation shaft item unless they have somehow gained clairvoyance.
Yeah, if they go back and check it.
Perhaps seeing 8 flamethrowers might have tipped them off that something is amiss. Because we have seen every flamethrower in this seed from Frostbite.
They must have been if they've been counting, then that'll save them.
But it doesn't look like they have been. They're not heading in that direction.
Oh. Meanwhile, for tocapa, here's Impact Crater climbing up the Tooth Room. That's what
this one is a trick that speedrunners struggle with quite a lot. These Metroids are going to give our runners a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
In Rando, it's not quite as bad because you can usually count on at least some gap existing between the two runners, being it's a more one-on-one focus than a time attack. But in traditional speedruns, this room is quite a pain to deal with.
I always thought this room looked like it was something out of a Doom game.
It does give that look, doesn't it?
Especially the platforms. Oh yeah, there's
all of the like teeth. It really does look like something you would see in the Plains of Heck. Apologies, SpeedGaming does not allow me to swear. They have taken away my dictionary.
I thought you had a thesaurus though.
That's not the same. It really just the two are incomparable.
I don't know. They're both large banks of different words. One just tells you what's similar to them, while the other tells you exact definitions. But here we are, heading into EXO. So only 38 missiles is going to make this not quite as comfortable as it could be.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't take a detour to the missile refill station in the Impact Crater. Halfway up the main room, there is a missile refill. There's only one other missile refill in the game, and that's going to be in Lower Mine for OP. So there's something in the sight to behold. Ordinarily, with such a low missile count, you'd really want to see that just to make this fight a little bit faster. But they would have only gained about 22 missiles from that anyways, so I can understand that it's just to skip it. Moving into phase 2 now. Meanwhile, Frostbite entering Lower Mine is going to be doing all of that, and they're going to find absolutely nothing. We already know that. We found every item in the game. There's not going to be anything here, but he thinks the expansions in missiles. That's all we're going to see.
Oh, are we gonna see the probably gonna see the Omega Pirate play?
Yeah, this could be an all bosses seed, unintentionally for Frostbite.
Yeah.
And none of the bosses were actually required. Barring, of course, the end ones. PMC is obviously going to have a mistake expansion. And he's fun to call. Yeah, Frostbite is really going to be scratching his head after he does this and finds nothing. He's going to be thinking, okay, what did I not do? And he's not going to be getting a whole lot of answers. So I do fear Frostbite somewhat.
Yeah.
They may, like I said, they may DNF. They may think that this might be an impossible seed when it really has not been.
Well, we'll see what we'll see what they do once they beat Omega Pirate, I think, because
that I think is when the despair starts to set in.
Yeah, because I imagine that might be when we see when they see a forfeit in the race time, or maybe just what's happening in there.
Honestly, it feels so bad that we cannot tell them where the super missile is.
Oh right, they have Frostbite did not get the back frigate item.
Oh, that is true. They did not check Freight Deck Gamma or whatever it's called.
Because then, after this, they're probably going to think, oh, it's over there, and then they're going to leave mines.
And then it's not going to be there either, of course, we know that.
Yep.
And in their mind, they have already exhausted all of the checks. And that is just probably going to be where they start to lose all hope.
Ooh, that ice pirate did not like that ice spreader.
Tocapa is already on, I believe this is the final stage of EXO. If not, it's about to start. But the final stage of EXO is famously quite random. EXO can do pretty much whatever it wants here.
Like that? Baiting you? Oh,
like that.
And like that.
Keep doing it over and over again for as long as the RNG rolls that way. Eventually it will stop just because that RNG is, it's not truly random. It can't keep giving you the same result forever. But it can feel that way sometimes.
Tocapa has run out of missiles at this point, so...
Yes, we're not going to be seeing any more beam combos. Frostbite finishing the OP fight, going to find a whole lot of nothing.
Oh, find a cool cutscene.
I don't think that makes up for it, though. They already had the phase on suit anyways, so the cutscene is reduced somewhat in coolness. And it was a missile expansion, of course, we knew that already. And you can see a few shots of anger, absolute hatred, being fired by Frostbite as he travels up the elevator. Missile, of course, behind Omega. Frostbite already scouted that. No surprises.
Right.
But probably going to be heading for that Gamma check.
As tocapa is heading into the final phase of the final bosses.
Yes, we're going to be seeing the Essence fight now.
Yep.
Fortunately, we no longer have the bug where Essence's music would not play if you skip the cutscene too quick.
Oh,
that was fixed, so we get to listen to music in its full glory without the runner losing any time.
It makes for a remarkably boring fight when there's no music playing. Although, even with the music, this fight's still kind of whatever.
There's not a whole lot happening here.
You jump
I think
over.
In that regard, Emperor Ring was probably an improvement on Metroid Prime, because really Exo is the meat of the fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm always sad that Emperor Ring goes by so fast, because I love the music for Phase 3. You should kill him so quickly with Screw Attack.
Frostbite is exiting to the menu. It's going to be reloading.
I don't remember where their last save was.
So ruined. Okay, that's better than Lower Mines, but not by much. Are they reverting any items?
I don't know.
I believe they're probably reverting the Wave Buster.
It doesn't matter at this point.
This tragedy really is almost Shakespearean in its proportions. It really is quite incredible. Dramatic irony.
That's it. Tocapa has finished with a time
2 hours flat.
Well, 2 hours and 5 milliseconds.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Also, I believe that would be, what, 500 milliseconds? Because it's half a second.
Well, whatever. But yeah, Tocapa has finished, and Frostbite has also forfeited in the race time room. So...
we'll get to talk to both of them at once, at least.
Yep, let's get them invited.
Hello, Tocapa. Congratulations. You are this race's winner. Fantastic job.
Thank you. I can't believe I won.
Oh, that is an incredible story. Oh boy, do we have a narrative to tell you and Frostbite. Frostbite DNF'd this race.
Yeah, it looks like Frostbite...
Just at the same time as you won.
Well, he probably forfeited as soon as he saw you win, because, yep, there's Frostbite.
There's Frostbite, and... Okay, now we get to drop the horrible news that you would have won this race. You know the item in the ventilation shaft in Mines? That was not a flamethrower, that was super missiles.
You're joking.
If you had counted the flamethrowers, you would have noticed, oh, hey, there are 8 flamethrowers. That is more than there should be. One of them must be the real deal.
Want to know the funny thing? I've made that exact mistake before.
I think everyone has.
Really, an awful experience to have. Because you went there so soon. You would have had those supers well before Tocapa did. They put off Mines for so long that they just did not see that item until the last minute.
Yeah, and after failing the skip down in Lower Mines, I just and what do I do now? And I just ran around randomly, it felt like. So. But oh well.
Yeah, that skip is quite difficult. Most runners I see actually go to the upper platform where the item is and scan dash off of that. But I know I've seen the pipe done before, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know actually how, I don't actually know how to do it. I was like, it's something like this. And
yeah, I'm in the same boat there.
Also,
And tocapa, I've got a bit of a question for you. Why did you fight Thardus after getting your super missiles?
I thought it was faster than going through labs.
Well, you got a full tracker out of it, so it was worth it.
Yeah, I guess that's one advantage.
Unless I completely miscalculated.
Yeah,
I mean,
gravity
weren't
chamber.
You,
Oh, sorry.
oh, never mind. No, that's nothing.
Yeah, gravity chamber also had some problems with that.
Well, I was meaning to
One,
ask you
one thing we were
about
going to
that.
ask, you
'Cause
had
you
everything you needed to do that vanilla to shoot the ice and to use your grapple beam, but
Funny thing,
it seems to have slipped your mind.
I don't know how to do that vanilla.
Yeah,
You just shoot
that's
the
a
ceiling
common
with
trend.
plasma, and then it reveals a
Okay.
grapple point. That's it.
Ah, next time I'll
So few
keep that in
people
mind.
use the grapple beam.
Yeah.
Nobody picks it up, so nobody knows that that's a thing you can do.
Yeah, because whenever people actually get that item, it's always just the skip method. They never actually do it vanilla.
The double slope
Yeah,
jump, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, I haven't really struggled with it before, but yeah, I guess first time for everything.
Yes, this is an absolutely tragic race, but it was so incredible to watch and even more incredible to commentate. Really, do you have any final comments?
Did you guys spot the super missile, or was it
Nope.
just like
We thought it was a missile.
We thought it was just
Okay,
a
yeah.
missile expansion. We didn't realize until Tocapa opened that up. We were like, "Oh, is that that's another flamethrower?" And we both thought it was a flamethrower until the moment he picked it up. We were tricked as well.
Yeah, because we were saying you guys really should have used like Wave Buster as the nothing item, because that's way. You're not gonna mistake that for supers.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Grapple Beam is an up-and-coming contender for the garbage item. Frank, I'm putting my full weight behind that.
I said this earlier, but I don't support that because of the implications it can have for logic.
And Tocapa, do you have any closing comments?
Nope. GG.
All right, are there any links that people here would like to plug? I've got none personally, but to anybody else who is here
Well,
in this chat.
Well, if people want to follow the runners or follow us commentators, then you can do that. Also, if you're interested in learning about the Metroid Prime 1, 2, or 3 randomizers, and maybe you want to get into racing, you can check out our Discord community where we have all that stuff going on. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, racers, for running. And stay tuned for more Prime 1 randomizer tournament matches.
All right,
See
that
you
was a fantastic race. See you next mission.
Stole my line.
See ya.